Hello, gentle viewers. This is Ab Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. It's going to be an interesting offseason because this is kind of the changing of the guard. Jaden Charles is going to leave. Oscar Balboa is going to leave. Chris Waters is going to leave. Jerry Delgado's been offered a new contract. He might come back. Oh, sorry, Jaden Charles did want to take a pay cut. That's correct. But we're finally doing what the Rockies are already started doing. We're getting younger. And this is something that we've needed for quite a while now. We've got a lot of really talented players in the high minors, and we want to take advantage of that. So, first of all, a comment that I already answered by Inset World 422. He thinks Moreira's a third baseman. I don't disagree that he'd be a pretty good third baseman, but I think he's also a perfectly fine second baseman. I think that's probably his most likely future with us. Although, if Maini opts out, that could be his opportunity, right? So, very possible that he could fill either position. He's going to get some attention in spring training this year, and if it turns out that he can earn himself a spot, then he'll get the spot right away. He won't have to wait for it. Who else do we want to make sure that we keep? Carlos Geronimo's. Actually, we have a problem that the Guardians are all too familiar with. We have a glut of middle infielders. We have too many middle infielders, and it's something we're going to have to address. I don't love Brian Malone, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like his control being so subpar. But I do need starting pitching help, and so Mr. Malone here is going to get added to the 40-man right now. Alex Madrid is probably the best overall shortstop that I've got. So I think we also go ahead and add him. If something happens to Herb Berry and we don't want to use Art Isbell, then we want to have him ready to go. I'm going to add these two as well, and then maybe try to make room for Rich Gunn. Because I do think Rich Gunn is a reasonably good pitcher that could use some attention. Does anybody, outright suck? Remember when I was excited to get Dan Hatcher? I was like, this is the solution to my center field problem? What the fuck was I thinking? This problem may sort itself, so I'm not going to dig too deeply into it right now. Okay. Personnel. The Birmingham Barons have not been a great team for a while. Ray Smith has gotten the job done. We're going to promote Mr. Smith here to AAA. Carlos Garcia is a pretty good pitching coach. Julio DePaula is even better. So we're gonna leap over the AA guys for now. We're gonna promote Kyle McPherson to high A. And Kyle Godfrey to low A. Or sorry, also to high A. Right. This means I need a manager and I need a pitching coach. I was trying to see if either one of these guys would be a good manager. It looks like they're not. Let's grab ourselves somebody who's great at development. Amazing at development, one might request. And let's try to snap up Jesus Meneses here. And let's get ourselves a pitching mastermind. I'm going to pick I like Michael Allen a lot, but his development ability isn't that great, so I'd rather actually hire, even though he's not as good at teaching pitching specifically, I think Andrew Armstrong is a better fit for us. Plus, we can make him into a manager as he moves up the chain, so I feel pretty good about that. I feel reasonably chuffed. Alright, salary arbitration time. We're going to want to deal with some of this stuff here. I wouldn't mind bringing back Waters, but I'm not going to spend money on him. Same with Eliomar Garza, same with Oscar Balbo. I would release them now, but I don't care that much. I'm not going to give Waters a raise. He hasn't earned it. He can't stay healthy. Okay. Andrew Picard is good enough that he gets this raise. 100 times out of 100, but let me set up my player development first. There's something I was forgetting here. Micah, you're probably not going to be our second baseman for very long. Maybe not at all. You played extremely poorly in Chicago. I'm going to have you work on your gap power, I guess, but it's not looking good for you, my friend. Brian Bittner, let's have you work on your gap power. Eduardo Reyes, if you would be so kind as to work on your control, I think that would be lovely. It would. Let's look at our raw prospects. I want to get Marrero some attention here in scouting, because I think Marrero's got a very quick path to the major leagues if things break correctly. Mr. Matan, I will have you work on your control, even though I don't expect much out of you. Mr. Marrero, what if you worked on your batting eye? What if you got even better at that? It'd be pretty great, right? I think it would be great. I think it would be fantabulous. Jason Harrison is actually a pretty good pitcher. I know he hasn't had a ton of experience yet, which is what he really needs, but I think letting him work on his control is probably the correct choice here. It'll make him more useful as he works his way up through the team here. Rich Gunn, I may not even keep, so I'm not going to invest any effort in him just yet. Carlos Geronimo, I think could probably use defense more than anything. Hugo Gonzalez could use some attention. Let's have you work on your plate discipline, I think. And then Marco Ramirez is really fascinating because there's not really an obvious spot for him at the moment. Work on two-strike approach, please, and let's see if you can get those strikeouts down. So assuming it's not Christensen, who becomes our second baseman then? That's a good question. I'm not ready to say it's Marrero yet. But it could be. Absolutely could be. I think defensively, I don't want to go on Christensen yet, though. I think there's enough here that I want him to have a chance, even though his early stages of his major career have been garbage. I want to give him another chance. Mostly because I don't have an obvious other choice to play second base, unless it's one of the youngsters like Geronimo or Willie Escott. The problem is that all these guys are very good defensively and have very little offense to bring to the table. Whereas at least Christensen has a chance to bring offense. I mean, Justin Rice is another good choice. Let me release the people who are not going to sign just to clear up the 40-man. Alright, so that's all dealt with. Justin Rice, low-key, is a pretty decent choice, too. So I'm going to add you to the 40-man. I'm going to add Rich Gunn. And I think that's where I stop for right now. Speaking of stopping, friends, I need to step away. I'll be back soon. I'm back. So, the question remains, how to deal with second base. It could just be we let Isbell start. He had a pretty good year last year, and I think letting him start at second wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. However, I don't think it's the best decision long term. He is already 28. He's not going to be the guy that takes over when Herb Berry can't play anymore. So, how do we address this issue? Who is the dude that replaces Danny Halpern? I'm going to wait and make that decision a little bit later on because I want to get all the arbitration stuff dealt with before I look into that. So let's begin with Alex Garcia. Alex Garcia had the worst year of his major league career, but still gets over 200 innings, and that's not nothing. He just didn't pitch as well. He walked more people, struck out fewer, and gave up more home runs. He was just a worse pitcher. But it's only been his first really unacceptable year since we've acquired him. So I think there's definitely use to keep him around for another year, so I think we will. Andrew Pekar wants a pretty substantial raise. So let's think about this one for a second. He led the league in strikeouts per 9 last year. His walks are still high but manageable. He doesn't get very many home runs, and he's also been pretty durable, with 3 consecutive seasons of 30-plus starts and more than 175 innings. As long as he's leading the league in strikeout, as long as he's leading the league or coming close to it in strikeouts, the high walks don't bother me a lot. But it is something we're going to want to flag as he gets older. I think a 1-year extension is a reasonable price to pay, even if it is quite expensive. I think we're still going to end up in a better position having him than not having him. I'm not overwhelmed with pitching possibilities, so I don't want to give anything up until I'm sure I have a solid replacement. So we're going to go ahead and give him a new deal. Alex Pulido is gone. I'm not going to pay him any money. I know he had a great year in the minors. I don't care. I'm not paying him $3 million to not pitch for me. Adam Wiley he took a step back from his rookie season. He sliced his walks pretty dramatically, but he also gave more home runs. So he's still pretty young. I mean, he is 27. I guess that's the same issue we keep running into, which is that our players aren't as young as they seem to be. I think a 1-year extension for him is a reasonable amount of money. Jason Hancock. I think we just let him go. What did I even give up for you? I gave up Manuel Bobadilla. But it was really about Corey Griswold. It wasn't really about Jason Hancock. I think we're just going to let him walk as well. Raul Barrera has been a pretty decent relief pitcher. Now, last year I think he was exceptionally lucky, so I don't think this is his true talent level. But I think it's good enough, and I'm not so overwhelmed with reliever possibilities that bringing him back for a season is fair. UWP is getting very expensive. We're going to need to probably deal with him sooner rather than later. Artisville is so fascinating to me because he's got the potential to be a pretty solid infielder, but doesn't do anything with it. He hasn't ever been the kind of player we needed him to be consistently. Last year was definitely a positive start. But he strikes out way too often for a hitter that doesn't hit for very much power. Isolated power of 156 is not something that excites me. He has still been a pretty positive force, though, as our utility guy. So I think giving him a one-year deal is probably fine. Interesting. Art, I will fucking cut you. Don't think that I won't. Like, I realize I'm going the opposite order that he's going, but he's being ridiculous. I think he's going to get a decent deal from him. Armando Beltran had a really nice season, but I don't think it's enough to make up for the years and years of shitty seasons. I guess keeping him around just to be a team captain is a reasonable use of my money. It's not like he's a terrible player or anything, so I think this is fine. I think we can give him a one-year extension, potentially. Yeah, if Art Isbell wants to play stupid games, he can win a stupid prize. Okay? Because I have no desire whatsoever to get into a fucking bidding war with utility infielder. You know what? I'm so annoyed by him, I'm trading him. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. You're being a little bitch. So, go fuck yourself. Pete Miller is fine, but not super exciting. Actually, Luis Perez, I do like him. He seems like an okay sort. Let me see if I can't get Josh Cox and Luis Perez. And I'll give you a day to think about it. Hey, you want Frank Bendixson? You can have him. Even better, you can have Hugo Casillas. That's even better. That's what you get, Art Isbell, you fucking bitch. You want to make more money. Me. Fuck off, dude. So anyway, I guess one of you guys is going to be getting a job this season. I have plenty of options, so that's going to be a question of who can separate themselves out during spring training, I think. I'd love for it to be Jose Marrero, but I don't think it's reasonable to expect him to be that good that quickly, you know? You know. All right. So that is all of our arbitration stuff dealt with, so we will proceed accordingly. Good old Mike Sapp. Well done, friend. Well done. I'm proud of you, I guess. I'm not unproud of you. Andrew, you are a butt. Like, I know why you're being like this. I don't blame you, but you're still being a butt. All the cool kids want to coach in Chicago, so you should just accept my amazing offer. Let me go ahead and offer Michael Allen a contract. He'll probably say no, but it's at least worth asking the question. Michael Allen, you want more money? I think that's fine. The fans love them some Adam Miley, duly noted. 125, I think, is fair. The Cubs are going to make me an offer. You're going to give me Tom Jividan. He does play second base. You know what? I think we take this deal. I think I don't even question it. And then I'm just looking for someone to back us up. I still have Jividan, who can handle second base fairly well. I feel pretty good about that. I'm very curious to see how John Beamish does if he gets an actual proper chance. I feel like I never gave that to him. Nelson Ramirez is fine, but he's nothing too exciting. We can flag him as a former Sock as well, though. That's okay with me. Really? You're getting into that much of a fucking bidding war. You're just a pitching coach. Bruh. I'll give you 200 grand, and if you don't take it, then go to hell. The Braves want to offer me... This I'm not into. James Conway is going to play an important role on this team, most likely. So trading him away doesn't make any sense to me. I think I just reject that offer straight up. We keep Delgado, which is great. And we keep Jaden Charles. And look, I know neither one of them is a world beater, but they're both really reliable arms that I've come to trust. And so I don't mind giving a small sum to them to keep them around a while longer. I like them both quite a lot. So presently, I have very little money to spend. And this is not a surprise, right? Like, we didn't expect that at all. It is more important to me to invest more heavily in scouting and player development than it is for me to buy veteran players at this point. I need to be getting younger and cheaper, not more expensive. So if we don't end up getting the people that we want, that's fine. That's okay. Looks like you didn't want to sign with me. That's rude, but okay. Give me Tyson Sang. I think he's reasonable. I think he's an okay choice. If we're going to win any awards this year, probably not. I would not be surprised if this is the year that we really take a step back. I just don't have the money to add meaningful players to this roster. I don't have it. It's Raul Valle. He's up for his first contract. You had a good career with the Yankees. You also had a good career with me. So I have enough money to sign one inexpensive veteran, in my opinion. I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So what kind of veteran would I like? I wouldn't object at all to getting a utility guy that I could trust. More help in the bullpen, I think, would be reasonable. A reasonable take. Terry Matan is now a starter somehow? That seems unlikely. Richard Gunn is also starting? I mean, sure. I feel like I gotta do something about this outfield, which once again is not overwhelmingly amazing. But Beltran had a really good year. Ricardo Vasquez, I'm a little bit less excited about. I actually like him quite a lot. Never mind. He's a really good defender. And that's what he's here for. He's here to be a great defender. So, I don't even know what I want. I also want to make sure that I save. Actually, that's what I want. I want an international free agent. When is signing time? It is then. I will look at the free agent market and see if there's anybody that really catches my eye, but it's going to have to be something pretty drastic for me to actually be interested. Hector Fernandez is way too expensive for what I'm willing to spend. Sorry, guys. It's just the truth. I feel like Elliot Kalman is a pretty good pitcher, if not for his injury history. That's probably only wants 3.4 million. I don't think it's worth it to me. No one I can get Josh Price for free. See, this is why I am a World Series winner and you're not. Yeah, this is reasonable. That's a take I can accept. Jordan Dunning. I don't think that's it, actually. I think it's going to be my only free agent signing because I want to save money right now. I think that's incredibly important to me, is to save money. I will offer Jose Sepulveda a contract if he wants one. That's fine with me. David Armstrong wants $2 million. He's not going to get it from me. I want to save money for an international free agent. That's why I'm hesitating to spend a bunch of money right now. David Foster is a really good player. I would be happy to have him in my system. Learning and growing until one day he's like, Kerpow, I'm amazing. Could happen. Probably won't, but could happen. Trade proposal. You give me Omar Perez. No thanks. People sign contracts, which is a good thing. We enjoy contracts here in Chicago. You could vote for Hall of Fame. Let's do it. Elliot De La Cruz seems like a pretty damn good bet to sail in. Look at that record. Look at that player. What a guy. This is never going to happen in real life, by the way. I do not see Jacob deGrom taking 10 years to get into the Hall of Fame. I'll vote for Class A, even if he isn't so Class A these days. Juan Flores, I'm not that exuberant about. I think he's acceptable, but I don't think he's truly Hall of Fame worthy. Gonna vote for Julio Rodriguez. Gonna vote for Adley Rutschman. Gonna vote for Adrian Santana seems pretty good. I'll vote for him, I guess. I'll vote for Logan Webb and James Wood. This is just not a terribly overwhelming Hall of Fame class, other than Ellie De La Cruz. So, and I guess I can make room for Kendall George or Juan Flores, but honestly, they just don't interest me that much. I think Charlie Condon is someone I can vote for. I think that's reasonable. Guy's got more than 500 home runs. That's pretty good. I'll also vote for Justin Crawford, although I don't think it's going to matter. And I think we call it a day. I can vote for Ben Brown. I will also vote for Dong Moon On, just for the lulz. Just for the memes, you guys. For the memes. Okay. I started watching this video. I'm recording it on the Wednesday before, but I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving if you're an American. I hope you had great food with great friends or family, and that there wasn't anything too disruptive. If nothing else, it's a day off work, right? Well, for most people, you might be in the kind of job where you have to work on Thanksgiving, in which case, thank you for putting in the hard work. So the rest of us can enjoy a day off. Harris Benson is not that great. And Bras Chilo is actually pretty good. So is Bobby Pena. So is Carlos. I mean, Carlos Cruz not so much. Bobby Pena might even make the majors for me. So I feel like this is a bad decision. I feel like he's a very weird player, and so Chris, I'm glad that you like the deal. I don't. That's why I'm the GM and the manager, and you're just my bitch. And you do as you are commanded. That's how things work, guys. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. I don't have a single young superstar anymore, which is really distressing to me. Edwin Hernandez is as close as it gets, and even he's 27. Like, he's approaching his peak already. That's a bummer, man. I could also replace Barry at short and move him back to second. That's a possibility as well. We like Mark Rush for some reason. I think he's okay. Yeah, I don't see it. Guys, I don't see selling out my farm system for a second baseman. I just don't. But in Christensen, many of my rookies, and what's his name? Jividen. I'll never remember that, you guys. Not even once. I could lose Sepulveda, or Ponce, or Lee. I mean, if I do, I do. There's nothing I can do, but I've only got room for one person, and Sepulveda's not that exciting. I guess I like Tanner Lee a bit better than Luis Ponce, so I guess we'll do Tanner Lee, I guess. Unless our Price is ready to be a center fielder. He is pretty good, but I think God, I have to keep Rick Price, don't I? He's the one young center fielder in my system that might not be complete shit, so I think we do that then. This means I can't participate in the Rule 5 at all unless I get rid of somebody. And I can't just put John Cole on the injured list, which is what I'd really like to do if I could get away with that. I don't have anybody that's really obvious that I can say goodbye to and feel good about it. So I think we just get the Rule 5 this year, which feels disgusting, but it's what's going to happen here, guys. I'll probably lose a couple players. There's nothing I can do about it. I lost Josh Price. Josh Price is a pretty decent pitcher. Oh well. What an like this is on the one hand a very, very interesting offseason, but on the other hand it's very, very boring. Because I'm not making signings of any real note. I don't think I've made this team better. Like, Isbell is what he is. Like, losing him doesn't hurt me at all. But that's like the only notable move we made all offseason. And that was honestly a fit of pique more than it was anything else. He shouldn't have been such a bitch. Oh, we had some Hall of Famers making it in. I like Anthony Mendoza. I think he's quite good, but I think I'd rather have Bobby Pena competing in the majors. Because he's really good. Than I would adding on a very expensive second baseman. I don't think that interests me. Elliot De La Cruz, Emmanuel Clase, and Charlie Condon all made the Hall of Fame. Elliot got a 73% and then dropped. That's redonkulous. It is maximum redonkulitude. That's how I would describe it. Alright, I want the finest amateur that money can buy. All players. Let's invite everybody to the party. I don't dislike Danny Negron, but I don't think he's what we're looking for. Negron, probably. Hunter Hernandez is a decent third baseman. I kind of like this, actually. I kind of like him a good bit. I think he's good at second or third. I think he's got a great batting eye, pretty good gap power, and enough other skills that I think he's going to be quite good. Is there anybody that I'm more excited about than Mr. Eddie Hernandez here? Probably not, actually. Maybe I should just stop looking and not, like, trick myself into going, oh my god, what about Alfredo Guerrero? Welcome to the team, my friend. I have literally exactly enough money to spend. That's funny. We will take that offer and be grateful for it. Here's what I would like to happen this season. I would like people to stay healthy. And I would like there to at least be a chance that we can make the postseason. But I don't feel that it's obligatory to make the postseason. I think we're actually okay. And I think a very big part of what's going to happen this season is what happens with Alejandro or Alberto Maini. If he doesn't opt out, we're in a lot of trouble. Because then I had to basically say goodbye to somebody that I desperately care about in order to make payroll. I want us to see a breakout hitter this season. I want somebody that's quite young to break out this season and show that they're ready for the spotlight. Because that's what we need right now. We need a young superstar. I have very good players on this team. But we had to start shifting over to playing a lot younger than we are right now. It's just what has to happen right now. We've got to get younger. We've got to get more consistent. Her Berry aging makes me sad, and I wish he wouldn't do that. He's been really good for us, guys. Like, really, really good. We got Hernandez. Amazing. The Maini contract is probably one of the dumber contracts I've made with the White Sox. I mean, the Jaden Charles deal was really great in the beginning and ended up being really stupid toward the end. Alright, we got lots of people from the minors ready for an opportunity. Matt DiNardo can be activated. Jose Marrero 100% gets activated. Josh Cox does as well. Not activated, sorry. Spring training. And then I think that's it. I don't want to put too many people up there unless they're like really, really ready. I guess like Gabriel Green and Carl Moody can be promoted. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that's a bad take at all. Yeah. Did I just put Ponce on the Major League roster? That was not my intention. I just wanted him up here. Okay, good. Yeah, he has to only be here for spring training. All right, spring training for you. Jamie Ray. And done, I think. We're going to run a 6-man rotation. Let's not be weird about James Conway, because I think that's stupid. I don't ever understand why the game is like, let's use him as a follower. No, you are a regular old starting pitcher, my friend. Turning Ambrosio into a starting pitcher is very interesting to me, because he's actually a really good reliever. If he could be a starter, I think that would help us out quite a lot. So I think this is a change I'm willing to test out. I think it's something I can get realistic about. And then do all the things here. Yeah, I guess. Hopefully there's a lot of swapping in and out, because I want to give people chances to show what they can do. Jose Marrero in particular. I hope he gets a lot of playing time. I think this is good enough for now. I think this is fine. We're swapping people out enough that I think we'll see some good experiments here, and then we can make decisions as we get closer to the beginning of the actual season. A lot of no improvement. Jose Marrero got better. Jose Marrero's placement improved by 15? What? That's banana. Maybe Marrero does have a chance to make the opening day roster. It could happen. Could very much happen. You're such a nerd brain, Tricky. He says betting increased by 15 points, and in fact increased by 5 points. I feel bamboozled. Heckin' bamboozled. But we just made the whole team out of outfielders, you guys. What would happen then? We'd be pretty bad, but it'd be funny. It would be entertaining. I don't really care about Justin Ferris, guys. He's not making the team. So anytime you want to stop complaining about how he's injured would be fantabulous. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right, I have 23 pitchers. We want to remove 10 of them. Justin Ferris, get out of here. Gabriel Grain, enjoy the minors. Griswold, Gunn, Lee. Malone, Moody. Ponce. 2 more players got to go. Donardo definitely goes. I have 3 lefties in the pen. I think Joe Niley is probably better to keep than anyone else, but I also don't mind him getting a little bit more experience in the minor leagues, so I think we can send him to the minors for now. And then this is your opening day pitching staff. We're going to go to 5 men, and I'm going to make Eduardo Reyes the first guy out of the pen. No openers. Openers are for chumps. I'm going to swap Matan and Livingston just because Livingston has done it before and Matan hasn't yet. We could try Brera as the closer. I feel like that's a bad decision. Will Livingston has earned the job, and he should get it until he can't do it anymore, so we're going to change you into being a setup guy. I trust who I trust, guys, and that's somebody that I trust. Jade Charles is fine against either hand. What about Mr. Kuhner here? You're both fine. Nick Ambrosio starter is going to be really interesting to me, and I'm really curious to see how he performs because converting a pretty good... He was a good starter in the minors, and then he just ended up being a reliever for me. If he can be starter, that would be very helpful. Very welcome indeed. Okay, we've got to get rid of... What is that? 12 players? 12 players. All right. Price, get out of here. Hatcher, get out of here. Cox, get out of here. Escott, get out of here. I have a ton of players that are basically the same guy, which makes this a really difficult decision for me. Brian Bittner is either going to learn how to play or die trying. Bittner makes this team. Pena offers so much power off the bench, which is something I don't have at all right now. Ray gets out of here. But there's no earthly way I can ever carry 7 outfielders, so I think something's got to give. I really think we say goodbye to Evan Lucio. I've had a hard time trying to trade him, but I think it has to happen. He's only 26, I guess. Pena cannot go to the minors. Pena has to stay on this roster. I think we let Bittner play in AAA. which means one more player's got to go. I just gave Armando Beltran a new deal, and he is a captain, and he is a good player. I really don't want to carry 6 outfielders, though. And I feel like having Pena's bat on the bench is going to win us baseball games. I feel like not having him on the on the main roster is something that's going to bite us in the butt. I feel like Edwin Lucio has run out of chances, right? Like, I feel like nothing he can do will ever make him an everyday player for me. Maybe let's see how the infield shakes out. Okay, catcher is set. All right, who stays of the 2 second basemen? Tom Jividen kind of makes it by default. Christensen has had enough experience in AAA that I'd like to keep him up too. The problem is I can't have both Christensen and Dividend on the roster. That's not an option. Neither one of them can play shortstop as a defender. So I think Christensen goes back to the minors. I really, really want to use Jose Marrero. I really think he could possibly handle the job. But he's not. I think I'd be ruining his development if I made him into a utility guy this early in his career. I think we send him to the minors with the understanding that he is coming up the moment an infielder gets hurt. All right. John Cole plays shortstop and nothing else. That's the minors for me. Alex Richard plays shortstop but is very good at it. That's the minors for me. My utility guy's got to be good enough to play all 3 infield positions. Carlos Geronimo is not that guy. He is a first baseman that can also handle second. Marco Ramirez can't play shortstop. I think it's Justin Rice. I think Justin Rice gets the last spot. Which means I do get to carry 6 outfielders. Although, admittedly, Danny Rios is going to be DHing. So this is going to be something we're going to have to think about. Alright, let's build our lineups. Because I absolutely do not trust the game to choose the best possible lineup for me. Alright, Miney plays third base and is a leadoff hitter. That's never going to change as long as he's with this club. That's a given. That is a requirement. From there, it's Herb Berry, then Edwin Hernandez, then Danny Rios. Rios DHs. Some of you heard this before. We've literally had this exact lineup for the past several seasons. Here's where everything opens wide. Here's where everything else is up for grabs. I think Chris Hernandez has too good a track record for us to give up on him right now. So I think Chris Hernandez is going to be hitting 5th. Is this a season Edwin Lucio is just given the keys and told figure it out or don't, but make a decision? I think so. I think letting Edwin Lucio play left field, you're much better against left-handed pitching, it's true. Who plays left but not Lucio? Is it Pena? Is it Beltran? God, this lineup got sad fast. I think Smith is going to hit 6th because he does have that power. Does Bobby Pena play left field for us? I don't think he does. I like that he has a very, very similar skill set, so I think he's got value in that regard, but Tiverton definitely plays 2nd. So Tiverton is going to hit probably 8th, I think. Do we just say fuck it, let Edwin Lucio play, and whatever happens, happens? I like that better than expecting Beltran to be anywhere near as good as he was last season. I think that's foolish. So I think we're going to try this. We're going to try Mr. Lucio playing left field every day. And then Ricardo Vasquez most definitely hits 9th. That's his best spot right now. Turn the depth chart. I feel like Jose Hernandez playing every 3 games is too much. Every 5 is fine, I think. I really don't need Beltran. I'd rather have Bittner than Beltran, especially because I have 2 other captains right now. I have a load of captains. So I think trading Beltran is reasonable. I think we trade him now. I feel like we're hurting the team by putting this much pressure on this many infielders. I feel like carrying 6 outfielders is something I just can't afford right now, and I'd almost rather give... If I was going to create 6 outfielders, 6 of them would be Bittner. It would not be Armando Beltran. Maybe that's fine to start the season, though. Maybe I just let this settle itself out, though. I just see what happens, and then we adjust accordingly. Alright, copy and paste this shit all across the things. With Rios playing for, what you call him? Lucio. Oh, this lineup, this team gives me some concern. I'm not sure this is a great team. I think it's an okay team, right? I think it's an acceptable team, but I don't think it's a great team. I think we're probably asking too much of it. This is a team that could very easily make the postseason. That's not my concern. I think the postseason is well within our grasp. What I don't think is I don't think it's a team that can go deep into the postseason. I think we've got some good pitchers. I think we have very solid starters, but none of them are really like, this is your ace. This is the guy to build around, because they all have flaws. Adam Wynn's the closest thing to a proper ace among them here. If he has a great season, like we know he's capable of, I think we're going to see a tremendous season from the club. Really, the only players that are new are Terry Motton, who is pitching every day now. Not every day, ideally. And Tom Heavenden. And Edwin Lucio playing left field every day. I still have feelings about this. I don't know if I trust it, but I'm willing to let him give it a chance. I'm going to let him give it a chance. Edwin Hernandez, I am paying you disgusting amounts of money. You should be MVP caliber, and you are not. I don't think it's unreasonable for me to ask you to have 40 home runs this year. Or at least keep hitting 30. That would be great. That would be much appreciated. I'd love for Denny Rios to stay healthy. Is this going to be the year he actually stays healthy? I don't know, maybe. It still says his injury proneness is normal, which I have strong feelings about, but... Denny Rios is definitely a guy that I could see not being brought back. I love the guy. He's an incredibly good player, but he can't stay healthy, and I can't put that much of my payroll into one player that doesn't stay healthy. Right? That's not a feasible strategy. I agree he's like a hard reset with the White Sox. I don't know, guys. There's always a universe where we win the World Series. Alex Alvarado is the number 7, is the number 8th player in the league. That's cool. I'll rebuild my minor leagues if you would, please. Oh, I think you've already done that, but I'm just gonna ask you to do it again. There you go. I have so many players that are ready for playing time. The problem is, none of them are like definitely make this guy the main dude. Why the fucking hell? Oh, he's probably with the Arizona Fall League, isn't he? Yeah, that's probably the case. Okay. Don't sleep on Josh Cox, you guys. I think he's got the potential to be a really good player. Oh, there's Jose Romero. I just didn't see him. This is a big year for Brian Bittner. I need him to have a great season in AAA for me to justify bringing him back to the majors. You cannot hit 194 at the major league level and expect to keep your job. That is not something we can afford right now. I need a dynamic outfielder pretty badly. The next dude who figures it out, he'll have a job for life. But that's the tricky part, isn't it? Espinosa's okay. He's nothing special. He's nothing spectacular. He's alright. Echevaria's nothing to be excited about. This is not a great catching class. Guys, that's so many draft picks on catchers, and yet I can never seem to find good, consistent catchers. I'd love to start solving this logjam, actually. Carlos Geronimo is somebody we keep. Willie Escott is somebody we keep. John Cole is fine. Alex Madrid is fine. I think it's Marco Ramirez that is the least useful to me. But even then, he's okay. Right? None of these are bad choices. I want Tom Jividen here to just have an okay season. That's my objective here. I want him to show that he can stabilize second base for a short time while one of these guys, maybe multiple of these guys, get an opportunity. I really should not be keeping John Cole, should I? He's fine. I don't really give any of these guys up until I have to, is the takeaway. Brett West can get screwed, but they all do something different that is uniquely valuable to me. I like Willie Scott quite a bit. I think the biggest thing we can't do this season, we can't get attached to Tom Jividen. If he starts to fuck up, we say goodbye. Like, that's got to be standard. We've got to have a reasonably quick trigger with him. If he doesn't have... I'll give him the month of March, right? I'll even give him April. But if he is still not performing, I have so many young players, I have to give one of them the opportunity. We need to find a permanent solution to second base. If that means cycling through prospects, then we cycle through prospects. That's fine. But I can't just commit to somebody that I don't have any history with, that I don't know if I can trust. So, are we going to win the World Series? Probably not. But Ambrosio is low-key a surprise to me. I never would have thought of making him a starter. So we're going to let him try it. If he has a fantastic season as a starter, I think everything else fits a little bit better. But none of these guys right now is somebody that I would say, it's Game 7 of the World Series, I'm going to put the ball in his hands. That would have been Jaden Charles not that long ago. Jaden Charles would have been that guy. Are you going to make the Hall of Fame? Probably not. Probably not. I am concerned about you. You give up too many home runs. You need to be striking people out like it's going out of style. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it wasn't the most thrilling in terms of key decisions, but I hopefully you still enjoyed it. I want us to get to a point where we can feel confident about maybe dropping a season. Like just one season, let things go a little bit. But I think we're going to be held hostage by Maini. If he opts into this contract, and I suspect he might, then we're going to have to say goodbye to either Danny Rios or Herb Berry. And if it's of those two, Rios, I love you, buddy. You're the one that's gone. Herb Berry is much too important to this club, from a holistic perspective, for him to be the odd man out. It's going to be Danny Rios. Which is a shame, because I like Danny Rios a lot. But if that's a choice that I have to make, if that's a choice that Alberto Maini forces upon me, it is a choice that I will make. I will say goodbye to Danny Rios and wish him well in his future endeavors. My friends, until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I bid you good day.